$1,341 minimum Social Security benefit. Who is included, and will this be on top of your regular monthly benefit? Let's get into it as we have a lot to cover in this video. But really quickly, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so yet, or if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I'm here for you every single day with all of the latest updates as they're being released, as well as your one and only daily advocate. So again, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe down below, and let's get into this right away. All right, so now this was recently introduced by Congressman John Larson as a result of the Social Security 2100, a sacred trust. Now, this is a newly revised and expanded version of the original Social Security 2100 Act that was originally introduced in 2019 by, again, Congressman John Larson. Now, I do recognize I have talked about this a few times in previous videos. However, this is a very, very big topic, as the Social Security 2100 that was recently introduced includes 17 provisions to revise and actually expand Social Security benefits. It's a big bill, right? So it would ultimately really impact millions of beneficiaries and ultimately the Social Security program as a whole for all of these beneficiaries. So yeah, it's a really big thing, which is why we want to kind of deep dive on everything within this bill here and actually go through these one by one. Now, in this video, we're actually going to be talking about one of the major provisions in this bill, which is establishing a minimum benefit of 125% of the federal poverty line, which just so happens to calculate out at $1,341 each and every month as a minimum benefit. Now, let's take just a minute and talk through this. Now, what is the whole purpose of establishing a minimum benefit for Social Security beneficiaries? The whole purpose behind it is exactly what they've said. Nobody should need to live in poverty. Nobody should need to retire into poverty. And as the president has actually said many times himself, older adults and people with disabilities should not need to live in poverty in America. Those are the words from the president. He has said it a number of different times, and that is one of the things that they would be establishing right here as a result of the Social Security 2100, a sacred trust, is to make sure that no older adults or people with disabilities are living in poverty in America, exactly as the president has ordered, right? So Congressman John Larson has added this right into the Social Security 2100. So the whole point of establishing this minimum, it's a minimum guaranteed benefit for Social Security beneficiaries at 125% of the federal poverty line. Now remember, the federal poverty line does actually adjust each and every year. It adjusts just a little bit. So as we move our way into the coming year here, that could actually be adjusted a little bit higher. Now again, it's only a matter of a few dollars each and every year, but here's the thing. Every dollar counts, right? So yeah, the further that we continue to move forward with this, it would be adjusted. Now, one more thing that they do with this minimum guaranteed benefit, it would also be tied to wages. Therefore, in 20 years from now or 25 years from now or some amount of time from now, that all of a sudden we're not sitting in the same situation that we are right now, where benefits have fallen so far behind the curve that it's hard for people to keep up because the benefits are so low. So as a result of this Social Security 2100, they actually have this minimum guaranteed benefit tied to actual wages, so that as wages rise across the country and throughout the year, then the benefits would also be rising in accordance with that, so that they would never fall behind going into the future. So that would be an amazing thing right there. So ultimately kind of guaranteeing that benefits will continue to rise as wages rise for people, out in the workforce as well. So pretty cool stuff right there. It would almost be somewhat similar to the cost of living adjustment, how that is tied to inflation. Well, then this minimum guaranteed benefit would also be tied to wages, right? So ultimately kind of keeping up pace with wages as they continue to expand. So that's one really cool thing about it. Now, with this minimum guaranteed benefit, who would actually be included with this? Well, as it says right in the Social Security 2100, a sacred trust, Social Security beneficiaries. So this would actually impact literally millions of beneficiaries. Now, this would be actually really cool thing. As we've talked about many times before, this would actually raise benefits for a lot of people out there who have lower benefits and actually give you a substantial boost, like right off the bat, right? So this would be a major thing for a lot of beneficiaries. Now, one other question that I've seen down in the comment section. I wanted to address this. Some people have been asking, will this be on top of my regular monthly benefit? And then I'm going to get into a little bit further of who also would be included on this, because there's more questions on this. So the question is, would it be on top of my regular monthly benefit? So let's just say, for example, you're receiving $800 a month right now. Would you be getting $1,341 plus your regular $800 benefit? I wish I could say yes on that one, but no, that's not how it would work. But rather what they would do is just raise the minimum benefit to that $1,341, which is the 125% of the federal poverty line. So you wouldn't get like your regular monthly benefit on top of this other benefit too, right? So it's basically what they would do is just implement a minimum monthly benefit, whereas basically anybody below the minimum monthly benefit that they would establish would basically just be lifted up to that minimum monthly benefit of the $1,341 as of right now. Now, again, that number could be adjusted as we go throughout the course of time here, but that's just kind of where we're currently sitting as of right now and where the federal poverty line is sitting at this time. So, by the way, the federal poverty line right here, right now is $12,880 on the federal line. Now, again, I do totally recognize that the poverty line across each and every state, again, is different, but we're going off of the federal poverty line. That's kind of the line in the sand. That's kind of the actual metric that they're using to calculate these numbers, okay? So that's important too. I've also seen another few questions down below, and I wanted to address this as well. I've seen a number of people who receive SSI, Supplemental Security Income, asking, will we also get this minimum guaranteed benefit from Social Security 2100? Now, here's the thing. Please just remember, I'm the messenger on all this information, but there is something actually really good out there for SSI as well. So here's the thing. When it comes to the Social Security 2100 and it comes to SSI, the simple answer would be no, you wouldn't be included in this simply because SSI is not Social Security, even though it's administered by the Social Security Administration. However, there is something really cool and encouraging out there right now for SSI beneficiaries, and that is the Ssi Restoration Act. Yes, something that is totally different, but it is something a little bit similar. Now, I've talked about this as well in previous videos, but let me hit on this really quickly here for those of you who are SSI and want to know more about this. So, the Ssi Restoration Act is a completely separate bill, a completely separate proposal where they want to raise SSI benefits up to 100% of the federal poverty line. Again, that number is $12,880 as of right now, which on a monthly basis calculates out to $1,073 each and every month for SSI. Now, the same thing would apply for SSI beneficiaries as for Social Security beneficiaries. If/when this whole thing is enacted and actually goes into place, what they would do is rather than giving this to you on top of your regular monthly benefit, they would just raise your benefit up to that minimum guaranteed benefit. In the case of Social Security, as a result of the Social Security 2100, it'd be $1,341, and for SSI, it would be $1,073 each and every month. Does that make sense? So yeah, I know there's a lot of confusion about this. There's a lot of different moving parts here. There's a lot of proposals. There's a lot of bills. There's a lot of people introducing things, but this is how this whole thing lays out. So I get it. They need to reform these programs, right? It's been a long time coming, and it's so nice to see that so many people in Congress are actually supporting the work of John Larson, where he wants to reform Social Security and actually raise these benefits for so many millions of beneficiaries. So one more thing that's in this bill for Social Security 2100 is they actually want to start working on this, like right away. They want to start working on this whole thing. But as of right now, the trust funds for Social Security are, I was going to say scheduled. It's not really scheduled because nobody's like scheduling them to be depleted, but more like at the pace that things are going right now, the trust fund for Social Security is likely going to be depleted by about 2033, which I get is a very long time from now. But they actually want to raise taxes, Social Security taxes, so that the trust funds would continue to stay solvent for many more years. And then they want to basically give Congress more time to start working on this and actually come up with an actionable solution so that trust funds continue to stay funded adequately so that they can continue to pay out all of the guaranteed and promised benefits for all of the millions of beneficiaries and then continue on into the future for a very long time. So it's kind of what's going on right now with this whole Social Security 2100 and this Ssi Restoration Act. There's a lot of different things coming out by this right now, but I think a lot of people are recognizing everything that went down in 2020 and 2021 based on the reports and everything I've been seeing out there. A lot of people are recognizing that, hey, this actually took a big hit against Social Security, and a lot of people that rely on these benefits could potentially be looking at the trust funds depleting sooner than we were actually anticipating originally. Therefore, we may not be able to pay out all of the guaranteed benefits and promised benefits for as many years. So therefore, all these programs need to be overhauled and actually reformed in a big, big way sooner than later. So Congress is starting to recognize that. Well, they really need to start working on this sooner than later, because here's the thing too. As the president has said many, many times, no older adults or people with disabilities should need to live in poverty in America. Well, unfortunately, as all of us know in this community, there are tens of millions of people who receive these benefits and are still living in poverty, because we said the poverty line as of right now is that $12,880 on an annualized basis. Well, when we divide that out, the $1,073 on an each and every month basis, here's the thing. I know for a fact there's a lot of you out there in this community alone that are receiving less than $1,073 each and every month. In fact, I see the vast majority of you receiving way less than that on a monthly basis. Therefore, pretty much everybody, well, not everybody in this community, but a lot of people in this community are therefore living in poverty. And I do think that the vast majority of people in this community are either seniors, seniors, people who are elderly, people with disabilities, and pretty much everybody across the board there, right? So that'd be falling right there within the parameters of what the president has said. Nobody who is an older adult or people with disabilities should need to live in poverty. Well, therefore, we should probably fix these programs up sooner than later, right? But anyway, I hope this kind of answers some of the questions regarding the minimum guaranteed benefit as a result of the Social Security 2100, a sacred trust, recently introduced by Congressman John Larson, and how they want to raise benefits up to 125% of the federal poverty line, which is the $1,341 every single month. So all that kind of makes sense? I get it. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things going on right now. There's a lot of different numbers that are being thrown around. A lot of this poverty line, 100%, 125%, $1,073, $1,341. Yeah, there's a lot of different numbers, a lot of different figures, a lot of different statements, and just a lot going on. So I get it. So anyway, I wanted to kind of hammer this out a little bit further for you, lay it all out, and let you know what this actually means when it comes to all of these millions of beneficiaries. By the way, these programs absolutely need to be reformed. I mentioned this in a video recently. 10,000 baby boomers, it's like 10,000 people are becoming eligible for Social Security every single day. Well, what's that going to do to the trust fund if, extra 10,000 people are becoming eligible and starting to draw on benefits every single day? That is just retirement benefits. That's not including survivor's benefits. It's not including SSDI benefits. I mean, we could be looking at 11,000, 12,000, maybe even more people every single day starting to draw on benefits. Well, what's that going to do to the trust fund? It's just going to draw it down even sooner. And it's just that many more people who are going to be relying on these benefits going forward. Therefore, if all these people are relying on benefits, that just means if it's not actually up at the federal poverty line, it just means that many more people that could be starting to live in poverty going forward. Does any of that make sense? Well, no, not really, right? Not to us anyway, but ultimately it's up to Congress to actually get the work done and get all of these changes made so that these programs can be brought up to an equitable standard of living. Make sense? Yeah. So anyway, hope this helps you out. Again, please make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video. There's a lot going on right now, a lot of things changing, a lot of talk in Congress. Things are happening, even though it is very, very slow. So again, thank you so much. Subscribe down below. Share this video with your friends, family, and social media, or anybody else who may be receiving these benefits or who could benefit from this information. Just remember, I'm here as your daily advocate every single day to help out in any way that I can. Enjoy your day, subscribe, share the videos, go back and check out any of the other videos here on the channel, and I'll catch you again later in the next one. I'll see you.